My girlfriend tried to kick out my best friend while I was away. So, I exposed her lies and ended our relationship. I, 28 Ame, recently ended my 3-year relationship with my ex-girlfriend, who was 26, after discovering she had kicked out my best friend from our shared apartment while I was away on a business trip. The situation is more complicated than it might seem, and I feel the need to share the details. Some background. My best friend, a 29-year-old man, and I have known each other since middle school. We've been through a lot together. When my parents went through a tough divorce in high school, he let me stay at his place for weeks while things were difficult at home. In college, when I was struggling with calculus and on the verge of losing my scholarship, he spent many late nights tutoring me, even though he had his own studies to deal with. He also picked up extra shifts at his part-time job to lend me money when my student loans were delayed. When I had a serious car accident during our senior year, he skipped his own finals week with the professor's approval to drive me to doctor's appointments and physical therapy sessions. Even during smaller issues, like when my first serious girlfriend cheated on me, he canceled his date night plans to ensure I wasn't alone. 3 months ago, when he lost his job due to company downsizing and struggled to pay rent, I discussed the situation with my girlfriend, and we agreed to let him stay in our spare bedroom while he got back on his feet. He insisted on contributing what he could from his savings and unemployment benefits, as well as helping with household chores. Everything seemed fine at first. He kept the apartment clean, helped out, and even cooked for us from time to time. My girlfriend seemed okay with the arrangement, although she occasionally mentioned wanting more privacy or space. I reassured her that it was a temporary situation and reminded her how much my friend had helped us in the past, including helping us move into the apartment and assisting her sister with her move last year. Last month, I had to go on a 2-week business trip to oversee a major project launch. My friend had just landed a promising job interview, and things seemed to be improving. The day before I left, my girlfriend was unusually attentive, making my favorite dinner, helping me pack, and being extra affectionate. In hindsight, I should have noticed the signs, but I was focused on the upcoming project. 4 days into my trip, I realized my friend wasn't responding to my texts. I assumed he was busy preparing for the interview and didn't think much of it. Meanwhile, my girlfriend was sending me regular updates about her day and asking about my work, which kept me distracted. It wasn't until I got a call from my sister that I learned the truth. Apparently, the day after I left, my girlfriend changed the locks on our apartment. She waited until my friend went out for his interview, then packed all his belongings and left them in the building's storage room. She told the building management that he was an unauthorized tenant who had overstayed his welcome, and they helped her remove his things. When he returned from his interview, he found that his key no longer worked, and he couldn't get in. To make things worse, she threatened to call the police and claim he was harassing her if he tried to contact me or come back. My friend, not wanting to cause trouble or jeopardize his job prospects, ended up staying in a motel and didn't tell me, thinking I might have been involved since it all happened so suddenly. My sister ran into him at a store and learned everything. She immediately called me because she knew I had no idea what had been going on. I was furious. I called my friend, and hearing his side of the story made me even angrier. He had to spend nearly a week in a cheap motel, draining his savings, all while trying to maintain a professional appearance for job interviews. When I confronted my girlfriend over the phone, her true nature showed. She started ranting about how tired she was of living with a freeloader and how she had done what she thought was necessary to protect our relationship. She claimed my friend was taking advantage of me and that I was too blind to see it because of our friendship. Her justification became even more ridiculous when she accused him of snooping through her personal documents, which was completely false. Her important papers were in a locked file cabinet that only she and I had keys to. She also claimed he made her uncomfortable by being in the apartment when she was alone, despite having had no issues with him in the past, and often asking for his help with household tasks. I ended the call and immediately began making arrangements. I called my friend and apologized profusely. Then I contacted the building management to get their version of events. It turned out my girlfriend had spun quite a tale, claiming my friend was an unauthorized subletter who had forced his way into living with us. She even showed them fake texts she had created to make it appear as though I was in on it. It looked like I had agreed to kick my friend out, but when I explained the truth to the building manager, they were extremely apologetic. They hadn't been aware that my friend was listed as an authorized occupant on our lease addendum, which I had handled directly with the management office, something my girlfriend didn't know. This was about to backfire on her. I cut my business trip short by 3 days, telling my supervisor it was a family emergency. My boss was understanding since I had already completed the critical parts of the project. I didn't inform my girlfriend about my early return. Instead, I coordinated with my friend and my sister. When I got back, I went straight to the building management office, where I presented proof that my friend was a legal occupant and that my girlfriend had essentially orchestrated an illegal eviction. The management was mortified about their involvement and eager to resolve the situation to avoid any legal complications. While all this was happening, my girlfriend was at work, completely unaware of what was about to unfold. With the management's approval, I had the locks changed since I was the primary leaseholder. My friend and I packed up all of her things, But unlike what she did to him, we didn't just toss them into storage. We carefully packed everything into boxes and moved them to a secure storage unit I rented for a month. While packing, I found something unexpected. Hidden in her desk drawer were several opened letters addressed to my friend, including responses from job applications and an interview confirmation. She had been intercepting his mail, which explained why he had missed some promising opportunities. I documented everything with photos and kept the letters as evidence. The final blow came when I found her diary. Yes, she kept one, and it detailed her entire plan to get rid of my friend. She had been plotting for weeks, intentionally waiting until my business trip to execute her scheme. She even practiced forging text messages to show building management. The diary entries showed a level of calculation that made me sick to my stomach. When she came home from work, she found me, my friend, my sister, and the building manager waiting in the apartment. The look on her face was like watching someone's world fall apart in slow motion. Before she could say anything, I handed her an envelope that contained 3 things. A letter explaining she was no longer welcome in the apartment since she wasn't on the lease, the details for the storage unit where her belongings were safely stored, and printouts of the diary entries detailing her schemes. She immediately tried to turn the situation around, bursting into tears and claiming she did it for us because my friend was supposedly destroying our relationship. When that didn't work, she became angry and threatened to call the police. The building manager quickly shut that down, explaining that she had no legal right to be in the apartment and had committed several illegal acts, including mail tampering and fraudulent eviction. My friend calmly handed her printed copies of the fake texts she had shown to management, alongside screenshots of the real conversations, highlighting her forgeries. She tried to grab them, but my sister had already documented everything. That's when she completely lost it. She screamed about how she had wasted 3 years with someone who cared more about his friend than her. She accused my friend of trying to come between us from the start, implying there was something inappropriate about our friendship. The building manager had heard enough and warned her that if she didn't leave quietly, they would have to call security. That's when she tried her final move. She whipped out her phone and called her brother, a 30-year-old police officer in a nearby district. She put him on speaker, likely thinking it would intimidate us. Instead, it backfired spectacularly. My sister, who works as a paralegal, calmly listed every illegal action her brother's sister had committed, including mail theft, a federal offense, filing false reports with building management, and the illegal eviction. She explained that we had everything documented and would be happy to file formal complaints with both the police department and postal inspectors if they wanted to pursue the matter further. The silence on the phone was deafening. After a long pause, her brother sighed and told her, "You need to leave. Don't make this worse for yourself." She stood there, phone in hand, mouth opening and closing like a fish out of water. Without saying another word, her brother hung up. The fight seemed to drain out of her. She took the envelope with the storage unit details and walked out. However, it wasn't over. In the following days, she tried to contact me through several different numbers, leaving tearful voicemails apologizing and sending angry messages demanding another chance. I blocked every new number she used to contact me, refusing to respond. Her sister, who remembered how my friend had helped her move last year, came by to apologize for her sister's actions and to return some of my belongings that had been at their parents' house. What made everything even more satisfying was that, despite missing a few opportunities due to her tampering with his mail, my friend aced that job interview he had the day she locked him out. He landed the job, a higher position than his previous one, with a significant pay raise. On the day he signed his contract, we found out that his new office was in the same building as her workplace. She had no idea, though, because she never bothered to ask about his job prospects or show any interest in his career.